gentlemen, and welcome to Hayes Gymnasium here on the campus of North Greenville University, where Christ makes the difference. At this time, we ask that you please rise and remain standing for the invocation and the playing of our national anthem. Let us pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for letting us come here tonight to enjoy the sport of volleyball. We ask that you keep all these players safe in today's game and that they honor you with the talents that you've given them. In your name we pray, amen.
Welcome inside Hayes Gymnasium here on the campus of North Greenville University, where Christ makes the difference for tonight's Conference Carolinas men's volleyball matchup. The Flying Fleet of Erskine have made the trip up from due west South Carolina to take on North Greenville. 2-10, Erskine brings their record in, 1-6 in the Conference Carolinas. North Greenville sitting at 7-9, 3-5 in the Conference Carolinas, looking to pick up that fourth conference win and just moments away from first serve. Grace Ola and Corey Bowen tonight here with you and getting ready for yet another great night of men's volleyball. North Greenville coming into tonight looking for their fourth conference win, coming off a 5-set loss at Belmont Abbey. And Erskine coming into tonight off a 4-set loss against Emmanuel, but it has been tough sledding for the Flying Fleet. But let's see what they can get done tonight. Coach Battenfield for North Greenville in his fourth season really has this team firing on all cylinders. They've had some up and down moments this year, Corey, but really sitting fifth right now in the conference standings. It's looking pretty good as we hit that halfway point here of the men's volleyball season.
Fifth is not a bad start, especially with how young this team is. I think we allude to it almost every game. There's about, what do we say, nine freshmen and sophomores on this team, 3 of which are starters. So a lot of young talent for Coach Battenfield. Fifth in the conference is not bad for where we're going to be, hopefully, in a couple of years.
There's only 4 seniors if you also throw in the graduate transfer, Dion Vidal out of Dominica. So only 4 seniors on this Crusader squad. Lots of youth to get worked into the program here as Erskine getting ready to start us off. And we are underway. Number 15, Matt Friddle on the serve. Here comes Jackson Gilbert. He's dug by Friddle, and an early whistle will give the point to NGU.
Point Crusaders.
Aaron Campbell back to serve.
Campbell, a lefty for North Greenville. Fires it in. Erskine on the attack and gets it down in front of Campbell, number 22, Keegan Sullivan. Getting credit for that, a junior out of Wellington, Florida, for the Flying Fleet.
Good shot right there, just a 6'5". Aaron couldn't get down to it.
And this Flying Fleet squad has 3 members, as there's a serve into the net for our first service error, first of many, I'm sure. This Flying Fleet squad has 3 members over 100 kills with the season. Josh Bragg at 100, Kevin Braceros at 101, and number 17, Daniel Hermida with 111. Off the far post, good stop there by Dustin King for North Greenville, libero tonight. Erskine sets it up near post, light tapper over, will fall. Colton Rosendahl, a freshman out of Hemet, California, gets it to fall for the Fleet. We're tied at 2.
Good spot right there to put it. It looked like just some miscommunication between the Crusaders on who was supposed to go for it.
Sullivan back to serve for the Fleet. King hangs onto it. Jake Bulldog going to set up for Campbell past the blockers. Fleet with the stop. Friddle going over to the near post for Rosendahl. Bulldog going down for Hamshow on the quick set. And that little short set works well for both Hamshow and Matthew McManaway, number 15.
Hamshow, one of the sophomores we were alluding to earlier, the young talent that's on this team with a good shot right there. And now Hamshow back to serve.
And he has a lot of power. Good displayed there on that serve. Erskine keeps it off the rafters. Far post popped up off the block. Plays off the rafter. That's going to be a dead ball and a point to Erskine. That's something else you'll see a lot of here at Hayes Gymnasium is the roof, is the extra man on the court.
It is. You play 2 opponents in this gym. You have the other team and you have the rafters.
And now Erskine might have an advantage over non-conference teams who come in here because they've played in here year in and year out. Well, they don't get it there. Took a bad hop off the hands of Friddle.
Once again, it looked like it came off one of the speakers that were the rafters up top. And then just hit weird off one of the Erskine players' hands. Number 6, Jake Bulldog, now back to serve for the Crusaders.
Now, Bulldog settled into that setting role nicely for North Greenville. Also racking up the kills in his past few games here on the home floor. Sending it out there for the service error. Serve in from Braceros. Another freshman for this Fleet squad. North Greenville losing it up in the rafters. And the Fleet have the lead. Serve in from Braceros will go to number 9, Grayson Lawrence. Bulldog going to set up for Campbell. Gets it to go off the blockers and down.
Good block right there by number 16, Absalon Williams. The ball just came straight down, got in between the net. Not much you can do once that happens.
Absalon Williams averaging about .77 blocks per set for Erskine. There's a big block by McManaway and Gilbert for North Greenville. And McManaway certainly capable of doing plenty of that.
That big front line with Hamshow, McManaway, and Gilbert, 6'6", 6'7", and 6'7". Hard to get it over there.
Yeah, Coach Battenfield has recruited well this season. Erskine trying to play it off the rafter. They won't be able to as they lose it into the far side stands. But Coach Battenfield has made recruiting a big point of emphasis for this Crusader squad, and getting some height up front on the net to help out McManaway here in his senior season. He has done just that. Fleet going to the far post off the block. That's going to let Bulldog get to it. King setting up for Campbell, who had to knuckleball it over with his right hand. Erskine off the rafter, short into the net from Braceros. And North Greenville starting to inch away now with a 3-point lead.
Erskine right there had to play it off the ceiling. Ended up being a bad set. Did all they can to get it over, but just sent it straight into the net.
Now, let me ask you a question, Corey. Would you rather play it straight off the rafter or off the angled roof?
I would personally rather play it off the rafters. From what I've seen in this gym, when it's played off the rafters, you got a little bit more time. It kind of ping-pongs around, but when it comes off that angled roof, it comes straight down and in a hurry.
Excellent points, excellent points. Flying Fleet get the point, and Williams on the serve. North Greenville looking to get it back. Here's Gilbert, blocked. Lawrence underneath it. McManaway called upon to set and punched over by Gilbert. Erskine rallying over to the far post and out of bounds. No touch called. And looks like Daniel Hermida just missing the line.
Gilbert lucky to get it over the net. Looked like he mistimed his jump, but had the wherewithal just to poke it over. Luckily, Erskine made a mistake and couldn't keep it in bounds.
McManaway high and out on the serve. About the only downside he has had this season. Great offensively on kills, great defensively blocking. It's just the serve has not come to him yet. Serve in from Erskine. Goes over to Gilbert. Bulldogs setting up for Hamshow. No touch called. Point back to Erskine.
Almost a great play right there by Hamshow. Might have jumped a little bit too early, able to get his fingertips on it. Almost put it in a good spot, but just an inch out of bounds. Number 15, Matt Friddle. Back to serve for Erskine.
Over to Gilbert. Bulldogs setting up for Campbell. And he's into the stick on the far side post. Erskine comes back to tie it at 9.
Campbell with a good play, just had to hit that rod just by an inch.
And that's 2 times North Greenville has gone to Campbell over on the far post, and 2 times he has had trouble reaching for the set. Flying Fleet on the serve over to Gilbert. Does a good job of getting it to Bulldogs. Back to Gilbert. Fires it down right between the legs of Braceros. North Greenville going to get that lead back.
Great set right there by Bulldog. Gilbert timing it perfectly to be able to put his whole body back into that, sending it straight down. Not much you can do with that. Really nothing you can do with that.
Campbell fires it in. Doesn't hit the ceiling. Set back near post. Blocked. Back over the head of Hermida. And that is Hamshow and Gilbert up front.
Once again, that big front line for North Greenville coming into play. 6'7" Hamshow and 6'6" Gilbert saying no, no, no.
2-point lead for NGU. Campbell's going to be back to serve. Sent to the net. Popped over the blockers. Gilbert reaching up for it. Here's Bulldog. And Lawrence is rejected off the hand of Campbell and into the stands, out of play.
Looked for a second like it could have been playable, but once again, ping-ponged up around there too much. Sent it into the stands. It brings back Daniel Hermida back to serve.
Leads the team in kills. That's Hermida. North Greenville going over to Gilbert off the Erskine blockers, and they run out of real estate into the official stand. And North Greenville able to get the point back.
Running out of real estate and to each other. Right into that referee stand.
Jackson Gilbert ready for the serve. Erskine going over down the middle. Hamshow with the block against Sullivan. From the 10-foot line, hit over by Rosendahl, and he'll end up getting it for Erskine after North Greenville bobbles it off the hands of Campbell.
Gilbert looked like he just didn't have a good position on that. Hit it with one hand, but not up, just sideways. Time called for Coach Battenfield, who has to wipe up at his usual standing spot.
Might be a little too early to start sweating, Coach. Erskine's got the serve. Sullivan gets it over. Bulldog going to set up for Hamshow. Easily blocked at the net. A couple of nice one-handed saves. Hamshow's blocked again off the light. And point back to the Fleet. We'll tie it up at 12.
Once again, one thing I've noticed from Erskine, they don't look like they hit it particularly hard. They do play defense very well.
Off the rafter, Bulldog gets it to set to Lawrence, past the blocker. Sullivan off the speaker. Played well there by Williams. And on the joust at the net, it's going to go to Hamshow.
The block right there by Hamshow looked like it might have made it over the net, but just spun right there at the top and fell right back down. Nobody could touch it.
Hamshow fires a serve in. Clears the ceiling. Here comes Erskine down the middle, short into the net from Hermida.
Set looked good right there by number 11. I believe that was number 11 who set that. Looked like it was just a little bit farther back than what was.
Fired in by Hamshow, and wow, that one floated on him, and that one had a chance of, if there was a door there, that one would have made it out the door. Service error number 3 for North Greenville. Erskine gets it back. Here comes Lawrence, spins it off the blockers, hit back over right to McManaway. Diving save by Rosendahl, but out of bounds. And North Greenville will get the serve back.
Yeah, McManaway wasting no time, sending it right back over to the net, keeping them on their heels.
Bulldog going for the lob serve. Up to the net, the setter tip. Dustin King with a one-handed stop. Here comes Lawrence, fires it down off of the hands of Delgado. Over to Braceros, high and out. No touch called, point NGU.
Got it over that big front line of McManaway, but still just a little bit too high, sends it out of bounds.
Braceros only 6 foot even, but a great jump as they'll go down the middle. King trying to get his hand underneath it, and the officials say no, and point back to Erskine.
Looked like he got his hand underneath it, but those referees have a better angle than we do.
Dustin King, no stranger to great defensive stops, been known to post up a kill or two as well. Fired in by Braceros. King will handle it. Bulldog going to set up for McManaway, and off the blockers down to the floor. First kill of the match there for McManaway. Lawrence has it. He'll keep it in play. Here comes Erskine with an underhanded shot from Williams. King going to set up for Campbell over the blockers into the backcourt. Erskine rallies it up. Here comes Hermida. Great stop by King. Bulldog will play it, and Campbell has to hit it over as it called a piece on the rafter on the way down. Hit over to Hermida to King. Bulldog going to set up for McManaway over to the far side, and another kill for McManaway.
Long set right there. Great play by Dustin King, being in the right position at the right time, keeping that ball in the air. When a set goes that long, or when a point goes that long, it's about who's going to make the first mistake.
Largest lead of the game for North Greenville. Lawrence on the serve, and off the just at the net, it's McManaway and Gilbert. And another point for North Greenville, and timeout, Flying Fleet. Head coach for Erskine, Justin Brubaker, takes his first timeout. Each team allowed 2 timeouts per set, and they can be very crucial, especially this late in a set. Erskine did a good job to hang on to them both. Flying Fleet down 5, 19-14, trying to get back into this first set. North Greenville's a team that so far this season they have had slow starts into matches, but once they get to about late in the second set, or even sometimes halfway through the third set, that's when they really start getting hot. But last time we saw them was back on February the 17th against Lincoln Memorial. That was a 3-set win. Crusaders started hot and stayed hot all throughout that one. 5-2 record here on the home floor in Hayes for North Greenville. And let's see how the Fleet play out of the timeout. Lawrence has the serve, fires it in, and out. So the timeout appears to have worked.
That serving area makes it the 4th for North Greenville. Substitution.
It's number 21. This is Gary Aroman. Only 1 kill on the season. Served in by the Flying Fleet. Bulldog going to set up for McManaway off the blockers. Erskine doing very well to recover that shot. Over to Bulldog. King called upon to set. Gilbert hits it over from the 10-foot line. Looking for the setter tip. McManaway with the block back into the face of Keegan Sullivan. He looked a little confused there as he almost got tangled up with his setter. Five-point advantage for NGU. McManaway Fires the serve. Good serve that time for McManaway. And off the hands of Bulldog. Was trying to get underneath it, but what a shot from Hermida.
That brings number 15, Matt Friddle, back to serve for Erskine.
Friddle's got it, sends it in. Off the hands of Lawrence, and North Greenville able to get it over, but out of bounds after it took a couple of weird hops.
Not sure what happened right there off Grayson Lawrence's hand. Don't know if it hit off the bottom of his palms or where it did, but it looked like it just went straight out like a chest pass.
Serve in by the Fleet over to Dustin King. Bulldog setting up for Campbell, and Campbell able to find the hole that time.
Campbell with a monster shot fires up the North Greenville bench. I don't think we'll see a better hit than that all night long.
I think that's what they were trying to get from him the first couple of times they went to him over at the far post. Here's Campbell back to serve. Erskine rallying it up, and Sullivan out-jumped it. And 4 hits going to be called against the Fleet there. Keegan Sullivan just out of position.
Like you said, he looked like he just jumped a bit too early, came up under it, and it went right over his head.
Now it's a 5-point lead again, 22-17 for North Greenville. Campbell does not pick up the ace, just missing the sideline.
The crowd not liking that here at Hayes. From up here, it looked like it did stay in, but once again, the referees do have the better angle.
And Gilbert just stuck his palm out to get the serve back over the net. Here's Sullivan firing it out of bounds, and there's a touch called. So it'll be a point Erskine.
Looked like they're calling it a touch on Campbell right there. I think it scraped just off his shoulder.
Serve in from Hermida. Bulldog going to set up back for Gilbert. Blocked. And don't look now, but here comes Erskine. And I believe that was Sullivan getting up for the block. And that 5-point lead is down to 2. Hermida with a line drive serve, picks up the ace, and here comes the North Greenville timeout.
Trims the net. The net might have helped it get down right there. It was going at such a fast pace. If it hadn't hit that net, I believe it would have just went straight through the back, but.
Now Erskine responding with a 4-0 run. Only a point away from tying it here late in set 1. And the Flying Fleet right now with a negative attack percentage at -148 to North Greenville's 292, but the Fleet only down a point.
Yeah, that's a big thing that jumps out with you right there is the attack percentage at -1.48, yet only down by 1.
Yeah, everything's pointing North Greenville except for they're tied in digs right now with 8, and North Greenville has more service errors, 5-1. But North Greenville has 3 more assists. They're out blocking 5-2. 11 kills, 4 errors, and the reason for the struggles of the Flying Fleet, 7 kills, 11 errors.
Matthew McManaway leading the way with 3 kills so far, tied with Jackson Gilbert. Ben Hampshaw, Aaron Campbell right behind with 2, Grayson Lawrence with 1.
And Erskine, after those first couple of shots from McManaway, they have seemed to settle down, and they were able to block his last shot. So North Greenville off the timeout. Erskine with the serve to Hampshaw, and another block. Sullivan blocking Hampshaw, and we're tied at 22.
North Greenville's got to be careful. Erskine's picking up steam right here. Came back, like you said, 5 points, now tied 22-22.
That's a 5-0 run for Erskine now. Doesn't bother him off the North Greenville timeout. Lawrence off the serve, back to the Erskine side. Here comes the Fleet down the middle. A good block, but not enough, and Erskine has the lead.
North Greenville taking another timeout.
That's 2. That's the last one for the set. And the Fleet looking to get to set point 1 away. And North Greenville struggling here late. 12 times opponents have taken the first set over North Greenville, and only 4 times North Greenville has won the first set across 16 matches played. They've only won a quarter of the time in the first set.
Looking at stats right now, just in those 2 set points, Erskine takes their attack percentage from negative 1.48 down to negative 0.036. North Greenville's dropping to 0.192. North Greenville's going to have to do something here to build momentum and try to take this first set back.
Yeah, they got to start figuring out the blocking schemes for Erskine. They had the Fleet's number early.
Daniel Hermado back to serve for the Flying Fleet.
And it looks like Arlen Rochebaugh will come in for North Greenville. Crusaders do not have the serve, though.
Rochebaugh, defensive specialist. Smart play by Coach Battenfield.
So Erskine leading 23-22. Hermida trims the net. Diving stop by Gilbert. Bulldog setting back up for Campbell. Blocked. Punched over by Bulldog. Almost got the kill. And now here comes number 3. Braceros hits it high and out off the tops of his fingertips. And North Greenville ties it at 23.
Lawrence checking back into the game along with number 14, Dion Vidal, checking in for number 9, Jackson Gilbert to serve.
So Rochebaugh out, Gilbert out, Vidal is in. And Vidal on the serve into the net will give the Flying Fleet set point 24-23.
Looked like a nice strong serve right there by Vidal. Just went down a little bit too soon into the net.
Well, Sullivan from the standing serve over to Vidal. Bulldog looking to set up to Hampshire, who keeps North Greenville alive. And we're going to need some extra points to settle this first set.
Hampshire now back to serve.
See what Hampshire brings. He brings it right down the middle. Erskine to the net, off the block, and out of bounds. Point Williams and the Fleet at set point.
Great job by the Crusaders to get up there in the block, but just the deflection put it into an awkward spot. Nobody could get to it.
Rosendahl back to serve. Trims the net. King gets underneath it. Bulldog setting up for McManaway, trying to go off speed, and he's blocked. And Erskine will take the first set, 26-24. And for the 13th time this season, the opponents take the opening.
Looked like some jawing going on between the two teams.
Yeah, McManaway looked like McManaway pointing to Erskine, wanting a blocking error that never came against Erskine. So the Flying Fleet up a set after that first set, 26-24. North Greenville looking to rebound come set number 2. Take a timeout with them, bring back here for our set number 2 right here on the North Greenville Sports Network. And welcome back. Just before the start of set number 2, the Fleet with a bit of an upset in set 1. They win that one 26-24 over North Greenville. And taking a look at the series history, it also does favor the Flying Fleet from due west. They lead this one 4-3 over North Greenville. These two teams meeting back on March 6, 2015. Erskine won that in straight sets, 3-0. Last meeting was already this year, January 24th. North Greenville took it in 4 down in due west. So the Crusaders trying to even up the series at 4 apiece, but Erskine has the advantage. Matthew McManaway, Ben Hampshaw, Jackson Gilbert, each with 3 kills for North Greenville. And this might be a very big rarity within this sport. Erskine won the first set with a negative attack percentage. North Greenville sitting at 214. And they end up falling in the first set after the Fleet go on a 6-0 run to take the lead. Daniel Hermida leading the way for the Fleet with 3 kills. Williams and Sullivan each have 2. Rosendahl has 2. North Greenville out blocking Erskine 5-4, but the Crusaders 6 service errors to the Fleet's 1. Almost ready for round 2 between these two squads. Jake Bulldog, number 6, they are back ready to serve. Starting setter for the Crusaders. Sophomore from Chicago, Illinois, and he'll serve it high and out. And Erskine starting off set 2 with the point. And it is a freshman Friddle back to serve. He'll send it in to King. Bulldog gonna set up for McManaway, and he knuckleballs it out of bounds.
McManaway looking a little flustered right now after that last set. Got into it with some of the Erskine players.
Friddle's back to serve once more. Erskine with a 2-0 lead. Over to Gilbert. Here's Bulldog on the set. They fake McManaway and go Lawrence, who is rejected at the net by Hermida.
Grayson Lawrence did his best to put it over the net, gets it blocked. Couldn't get out of the way. It bounced off him twice before it actually hit the ground. Friddle once again back to serve with a 3-0 lead for the Flying Fleet.
He's starting to set here with a 3-0 run, and off the light, McManaway has to set it for Campbell, who gets it over the net. Erskine now on the attack, past the blockers and out. No touch called from Rosendahl, point NGU.
Rosendahl, number 7, trying to send it to the crowd. That sends Grayson Lawrence back to serve.
Lawrence fires it in over to Delgado. One-handed set at the net, and the Fleet will not get it over after Delgado set it sideways, and Hermida could not get to it. North Greenville within 1. Serve in from Lawrence. Push forward to the net. Friddle sets up, and the Fleet with the point from Sullivan.
Keegan Sullivan with the nasty kill right there.
And Sullivan, pretty big dude for Erskine up there at the net.
Really looked like he was just angry at the ball.
And a hot serve from Hermida, sent packing by Sullivan. And the Fleet back up by 3.
Right, we must have missed something between sets because Sullivan is very angry at that ball with the way he's hitting it.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened. He has ramped up the intensity. Hermida gets it to Gilbert, set by Bulldog to McManaway, spins it sideways, stopped by Delgado. Here comes Braceros. Bulldog to King, now back to Campbell, past the blockers, but stopped by Hermida. Off the joust at the net, it will go to Campbell and NGU.
Campbell sending it straight into the lap of Sullivan right there, almost catching it. That sends McManaway back to serve. who's been up and down this season with his serves. Hopefully he can get it on track for this game right here. We have a timeout to wipe the floor where Sullivan did fall.
5-3, Erskine leading set 2. They have the set advantage by 1. Erskine looking for only their 3rd win all season, 2nd conference win. Needing to make up some ground in the conference race as McManaway hits it high and out. Service error will give it to the Fleet.
Yeah, Erskine winning 2 of their last 3 games, excuse me. Hoping to make it 4.
Bulldog gonna set up. Here comes Campbell. And with the run of the floor, Campbell, the lefty, does not miss.
Back to what we were talking about, excuse me. Win 3 out of their last 4. Campbell with the beautiful spike right there.
Serve in from Aaron Campbell. And big rejection at the net. Hamshow absolutely stuffing Epsilon Williams.
Williams only sitting at 6'3", not being able to get it over the big frame of 6'7" sophomore Ben Hamshow.
Campbell, 2nd straight serve, out of bounds. Service error number 9. And Erskine will take a 2-point lead.
That service error will send Colton Rosendahl back to serve for the Flying Fleet.
And with only 1 ace to North Greenville's credit, that is 8 free points given to the Flying Fleet, and now pull one of them back as the service error will go against Rosendahl.
That brings Gilbert back to serve for the Crusaders.
Serves it in over to Delgado. Set up by Friddle, hit over by Braceros, and another Flying Fleet point. Erskine is not playing like a 2-win team. And here comes Braceros, he shorts it into the net.
Just looking over a quick roster look, not the biggest team North Greenville has faced this season by any means. Tallest player, I believe, is 6'6", Barry Greenall.
Hamshow's going to give it right back off the service error. And Erskine, well, we talked about North Greenville's youth. Erskine's a team with a lot of youth too. Only 1 senior listed on the stat sheet. So they can't have that many for the Flying Fleet.
8 freshmen alone for the Fleet.
McManaway getting credit for the kill off the shoulder touch from Williams. Pulls North Greenville within 1. Big block at the net off Campbell. Gives to Bulldog time. Who goes back to Gilbert. And it's blocked out of bounds off Sullivan. North Greenville takes a point.
Yeah, blocked off Sullivan. Sullivan rode the net and then fell out of bounds. Bulldog back with the quick serve.
Sends it in, trying to go way short. Picked up by Hermida, who gets the set off the hands of Kings, and that one goes up into the 5th row of bleachers. Erskine up by 1.
Justin King, a great defensive player, but with a shot like that, there's not all that much you can do with that.
Friddle on the serve over to Gilbert. Lots of spin on that ball for Bulldog to Campbell. One hands it over, past the blockers. And North Greenville will tie it at 10.
Looks like an Erskine player is hurt. Number 7, Colton Rosendahl, hobbling and now falling in pain.
Rosendahl went for a slide right up the net. And we're going to have to get some training staff check out on him as he is not getting up quickly. And
does not seem good. You can hear him yelling in agony from here. Trainer's holding the back of his knee.
Well, it wasn't the warmest of days here in Tigerville, but inside the gym it is fairly humid, I would say, despite it being cold and rainy outside. And they're working that left calf muscle on Rosendahl. Make sure it's not anything serious and just hoping for like a little cramp or something.
He is getting up.
He's got not a brace, but it's one of those sleeves you put on your knee, but it's on his right knee, and taking a look at his left knee.
That'll bring in a substitute, number 25, Griffin Spence. I believe the first time he's seen the court today.
Well, they shouldn't lose too much in the height department. Spence looking pretty tall himself.
Both players 6'3".
So they'll check on Rosendahl. Erskine trainers will. Tied at 10. Erskine with the set advantage here in set 2. Lawrence on the serve. Reached up for by Delgado, and Sullivan puts it in the back corner pocket.
Number 17, Daniel Hermida, now back to serve.
22 service aces for Hermida on the season. Here he comes. Gilbert gets it. Bulldog running back to set up for Campbell, who trying to go for the corner, is undercut by two Erskine defenders who collide with each other and let the ball fall to the floor.
Yeah, Matt Friddle and Daniel Hermida not communicating right there, almost hitting each other.
And McManaway trying to aim for the near side corner, just missing it on the back line, and that would give Erskine the serve and the lead.
McManaway's serving struggles continue as Erskine now leads by 1.
Standing serve from Sullivan. Bulldog looking to set up for Campbell, and he is called out of bounds. Point Erskine.
Looked like he jumped a little off balance, not able to put the ball right where he wanted it. Keegan Sullivan now back to serve.
He'll fire it in over to Gilbert, and King pushing it up to Gilbert. Pushes over the left hand, early whistle. And a point to Erskine.
North Greenville now take a timeout on that. I believe that was an attacking error on number 8, Jackson Gilbert.
Yeah, that's the only thing, looks like the only thing that one can go down as. And Erskine managing a good 2 to 3 point lead over North Greenville as we approach, as we just move past the halfway point of the second set. North Greenville, they've struggled in the second set too. They've only won 5 to 11 times the opponents winning the second set. Business picks up for the Crusaders in the third set. They've won 8. Actually, they're tied in the third set with opponents. North Greenville's won 8. Their opponents have won 8. They're outscoring opponents in the fourth set, 187 to 173, and North Greenville has won more sets than their opponents, 6 to 2. And they've also won more 5 sets, 2 to 1. So effectively, at least on paper, it looks like this North Greenville squad is a second half team, but you can't keep falling behind and having to claw your way back into it. Yes, you play 5 sets for a reason, but getting those early set wins can be crucial. In case you do slip up, you have something to fall back on.
It'll be interesting to see what Coach Battenfield does if his team does go down 2 sets to none, if he puts his freshman in, or if he sticks with the starting lineup.
Serve in from Sullivan over to Gilbert. Bulldog tracking it down. Campbell from the 10-foot line blocked. Lawrence saves it, and they couldn't touch it again. And the Fleet will get the point.
The Fleet with their large lead of the game, up by 4.
They've hit the 4-point margin. North Greenville got it up to 5 late in set 1 before Erskine went on a 6-0 run and eventually won it. Sullivan over to number 10. That's Brandon Baker, and Hamshow is the guy who smacks it down.
Hamshow hitting it as hard as he can right there, hoping to get his team fired up.
Almost didn't recognize Brandon Baker. Got a good haircut.
Number 10, Brandon Baker, a freshman for this team, getting a good amount of playing time.
Campbell on the serve. Here comes Williams, and a great acrobatic pose in the air, but no contact on the ball, and double hit called against the Fleet, point NGU.
Looked like Absalon Williams was going up for that, but once again just mistimed his jump and missed it completely.
It was hard to judge whether that one was going for Williams or Friddle was the setter who set it up for him. Here's Braceros, who's blocked by Bulldog. The Fleet do get it over. And now here comes Baker from the far post, stopped by Delgado. Back to Braceros, off the blockers. Baker with another stop. And Lawrence from the 10-foot line stuffed. Now a tangle up at the net. North Greenville looking to rally it. Here goes Campbell hitting it over. Erskine to the far post and smacked out by Spence. And a point NGU.
Good long point right there. Good defense by both teams. Special standout to Erskine, able to get just fingertips under the ball and get it back over the net. Great effort from both teams though.
Spence wanting that touch call, did not get it. As here comes Campbell on the serve and out of bounds.
Look, he rolled it just off his left hand. Sends it toward the bench over there. As we look, trainers look like to be working on Colton Rosendahl still.
They have put a ton of tape and an ice pack on his left ankle as Spence will return the favor back to North Greenville off the service there.
Does look like Rosendahl will be done for the night.
Serve in from the Crusaders. Backspins off the hands of Braceros. He'll get the set forward. King puts a stop to it. Here's Bulldog over to Lawrence. Blocked. Hamshow. Bulldog setting a second time. Back for Hamshow. Over to Hermida. Here's the set to Braceros. Blocked out of bounds by Hamshow. And the Fleet will take the point.
Great block right there by Hamshow. They hit hard right there from the Flying Fleet. Sends it out of bounds.
And if Erskine continues to manage this 2 to 3 point lead, Coach Battenfield still has, well, he should have at least one timeout left. And at the net, point NGU.
Nick Manaway checking back onto the court for libero number 2, Justin King. Hamshow back to serve now.
And he'll pick up the ace after it spins off the hands of Delgado.
Great shot right there from Hamshow. Trims the net. That brings the score 17 all.
Hamshow firing the serve over to the near side. Picked up by Hermida, who gets the set back. And Matthew McManaway re-emerging here in set 2 with the block.
Griffin Spence right there, the only one able to do anything with it, only able to get his elbow out. Sends it to the back.
North Greenville starting a rally late here in set 2, and that'll force Erskine to burn a timeout. And that'll leave each team with 1 left here in set 2. North Greenville leading now 18-17. Trying to see this one, at least will go 4 sets.
From watching this game so far, Erskine seems to be more of a defensive team, and looking from their stats on the season, they lead overall digs per set with a 10.26 per set.
Yeah, their libero Antonio Delgado, 89 digs on the year. That leads the team. Josh Bragg second with 88. Both those gentlemen averaging over 2 digs per set. And Hermida, we talk about him leading the team in kills. Well, he's got 61 digs for Erskine.
Back from the timeout, Hamshow to serve.
Hamshow fires it in, over to Delgado. Friddle gonna set up near post for Hermida, over the blockers of Bulldog, and Campbell came crashing in to try and keep it alive. Couldn't quite do it, and Erskine ties it at 18.
Able to keep it up for 3 hits, but not get it up back over the net. Number 21 now for Erskine, Gary O'Raman. Checking in for number 16, Absalon Williams. O'Raman back to serve.
He'll fire it in over to Lawrence. Bulldog looking to set up. Back to Lawrence, off the blockers, then off Spence. Recovered by Braceros. King with a great defensive dig. And now here comes Lawrence right into the blockers and onto the Fleet side of the net.
At that point, Absalom will check back in. Once again for 21, Gary Araman. Bulldog back to serve.
Bulldog from the end line. Great block by McManaway into the stands. Bulldog with the save. And North Greenville will get it over. Fleet not done yet, and a big block by Campbell against Hermida keeps it alive, and North Greenville with a 2-point lead. And Jake Bulldog sacrificing himself into the bleachers. Now he has to go back to serve. And the setter tip stopped by King. Good job, Dustin King. And Lawrence shorts it into the net, and Erskine will take the point.
King, once again, like we talked about, a beautiful defensive play. Able to get that 5-10 frame down to the floor very quickly.
Well, North Greenville is leading late in set one. Erskine came back to win it. North Greenville leading by a point here. Serving goes to King. Bulldog going to set up for Campbell. Looking for that near side corner. And he won't get the corner, but he will get the touch. Or maybe they said that did get down in the corner.
Looked like it was well out from up here. Maybe a blocking error or a touch, like you said, Gray.
North Greenville retakes a 2-point lead. Erskine looking to cut it back down to one. They will do so as Hermida comes in unblocked from the far post.
Hermida trying to bring some life back into this team. Seemed like it sort of started going a little bit downhill, lost some momentum after Rosendahl went down with an ankle injury, it looks like.
Hermida only a freshman, but he's got a lot of power in that right arm. And off the hands of Lawrence, and running out of room is Dustin King sliding into the wall. Heads up play by the North Greenville bench to scatter, and we're tied at 21.
From these two sets, Hermida seeming to be the best server out of both teams.
He's still back there, and now he puts it in the net. Give it back to NGU. Running out of points here in the second set.
Number 1, Arlen Rochebaugh checking in. He'll be back to serve for McManaway.
Up front at the net, it is Campbell, Hamshow, and Baker. Here's Rochebaugh on the serve. Erskine looking to the near post for Braceros. Good block by Hamshow and company. Erskine not done yet. Braceros looking to the far side, and he'll get it.
Baker, good job being able to get there and get the ball back up. Hamshow trying to slide in, kick it back up, but not much he can do. With that, McManaway will check back in for number 1, Arlen Rochebaugh. And then once again back out for libero Dustin King.
King's going to set up in the near side corner as the serve goes to Baker. Bulldog looking for Hamshow over to the near side. And North Greenville pulls ahead by 1.
That shot looking a little less like a hit, a little more like a slam dunk. Placing it right where he wanted it to go.
23-22.
Campbell back to serve now.
North Greenville up by 1, and Campbell trying to go for the short serve, and he'll get the point as it goes back over and out of bounds off the hands of Hermida. Set point North Greenville 24-22.
Crusaders taking a little bit of a risk there, letting that go out. Luckily it did, just by mere inches. With that, number 4 for the Crusaders will check in Benito, I believe.
Jarvis.
Benito, yes.
Yes, this is Jarvis Benito.
Another freshman for the Crusaders.
Campbell on the serve, goes to Delgado. That caught him in the forearms as here's Hermida hitting it over. King. And Lawrence setting over to the far post for Baker. Erskine trying to stay alive, and they will run out of hits. North Greenville will take the second set, 25-22. And that will tie us up at a set apiece and ensure that we at least will go to 4. So the Crusaders able to rally back, close out the second set with a win, and now heading to the third set to determine who has advantage once more in this match. Stick with us. We'll be right back with the third set here on this Wednesday night. Conference Carolinas men's volleyball. Erskine and North Greenville tied up at a set apiece here on the North Greenville Sports Network. And welcome back before the start of set number 3 here on the North Greenville Sports Network. Time to take a look at your Conference Carolina standings. Barton in sole control of the lead right now, a game ahead of King. Barton also the only undefeated team in conference play with a unblemished 8-0 record. King a game behind them in second. Mount Olive a game behind the Tornado in third. And then Belmont Abbey is 2 back, who just took a 5-set win over North Greenville. Emmanuel right there in the 5th spot, but the Lions still ineligible to compete for conference championships while their Division II application gets through the works. So that moves North Greenville up unofficially to the 5th spot with their 3-5 conference record. And Erskine down there toward the bottom with only 1 conference win, looking to pick up number 2 to move into a tie with Limestone. And Lees McCray rounding out the field, still looking for their first conference win. North Greenville oh so close to getting a home playoff game in the conference tournament last year. They ultimately ended up finishing 5th, I believe it was, so 1 spot out of being able to host. Top 4 host with the higher seed getting advantage throughout. Off to start the third set, and McManaway putting it away. North Greenville taking the 2nd set, starting off the 3rd set on the right foot.
McManaway starting off strong, sending it as hard as he can into those 2 blockers. Erskine, all they can do is trap it into the net. Number 22, Keegan Sullivan wiping the ground real quick.
McManaway a hard guy to block, not just because of his height, but he has good pinpoint direction on his spikes. Grayson Lawrence back to serve in for North Greenville to Delgado. Friddle going to set up, trying to go to Sullivan, And instead, it ends up in the hands of Spence as the Fleet called for their third 4-hit call of the match.
Once again, just mistimed his jump. Try to get it with his left hand off his fingertips, leading to that 4th hit.
Lawrence back to serve a second straight time. Friddle will set up for Sullivan this time. Bangs it home down the far side, and Erskine is on the board here in the 3rd set.
Sullivan fixed his timing on that, able to send it straight down right above the U.
It's Hermida back to serve for the Flying Fleet. Sends it in, and a rare miscue from him as he shorts it into the net.
I believe that's 2 points in a row from last set to this set where he sent it into the net.
Here comes McManaway as he gets it in over to Braceros, and Sullivan off the top of the net and down.
Not sure how Sullivan was able to hit that as hard as he did, where he did with the angle. It looked like he hit it from. Looked like he hit it behind his head on that last shot. He will now go back to serve.
We'll send it in over to Baker. Bulldog going to set up for Campbell, and Campbell off the bottom half of his hand. I think that one called as we're tied at 3.
Campbell got a little overzealous on his jump. Sent it a little too far down and into the net on the North Greenville side.
Well, Sullivan's got 2 straight serves now. Lawrence down to a knee to recover the ball. Hamshow coming up for a crack at it. Recovered by number 17, Hermida. Light tapper over from Braceros. Recovered by the Crusaders. Here's Hamshow and Spence going at it at the net. Hit back over by Braceros. Bulldog setting up for Lawrence. He's blocked. Recovered by Hamshow. Off the rafter. Nobody catches it. And Erskine will take the lead.
Lawrence looked like he set back up for it. Hit off that rafter, and Hamshow lost focus for just a second. Couldn't find where it was at. Ball hits the ground. Flying Fleet point. The ref having some words with number 22, Keegan Sullivan. Not sure what it was about.
A brief discussion there as Sullivan, 1-step serve, floats it, and in on the line for the ace.
Baker just trusting the word of his teammates, lets it go. Unfortunately, finds the inline.
Sullivan will float another one. Lawrence gets to this one. Bulldog setting up for Campbell. Past the blockers. Off the hands of Friddle. And from backcourt, it's Hermida who gets the kill.
Hermida, who we talked about, looked like to be the hardest hitting on this Flying Fleet team. Hits it right into Hamshow, but goes straight down into the net.
Sullivan over to Baker. Bulldog going to set up for Campbell, looking for that far side corner, stopped by Sullivan. Here comes Braceros. He's blocked by Hamshow and Campbell.
That brings the Crusaders within 2 now. The lefty Campbell back to serve.
6-4, Erskine up. Still early here in set 3, tied up at a set apiece. Campbell sends it in. Friddle going to set up, trying to go to Williams, and it's slammed back in his face by Hamshow.
Correction, I believe that was Bulldog who sent it right down there.
Even better, the setter.
If you remember, a couple weeks ago, we had a little setters match between us and I think
that was Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, yeah.
Oh, that was a good one. Bulldog and the Lions setter both going at it, see who could outset one another. There's Campbell from the far side, stopped by Friddle. Braceros over the block, stopped by Campbell to Williams with the 2-handed putback.
Baker tried to get down to it. Just a little out of his range, though. Flying Fleet point. At that point, Flying Fleet go once again up by 2, sending Griffin Spence back to serve.
Serve in by Spence will go over to Baker. Bulldog going to try and short set for Hamshow. Stopped by Braceros, and down the middle comes Hermida. Lawrence doing everything he can just to stop that one, and Baker trying to aim for the far side. Can't get it over the net.
Able to play it off the rafters right there, but Baker tried to get a little too technical. Send it into that back far side. not able to get it over the net.
Spins to serve from the line, and he'll push this one high and out. Service error against the Flying Fleet. North Greenville with Baker. Baker sends it in. Friddle gonna set up for Williams. Diving past King and the Fleet point.
North Greenville is gonna have to make some sort of adjustment to get in front of those short sets.
9-6, Erskine up. King handles the serve, and North Greenville not able to rally it off the rafter again. A 4-point lead for Erskine, and the North Greenville timeout. That'll be the first of the set for the Crusaders, and that does come a little bit earlier than you would like to burn one of your timeouts, but Erskine right now still looking pretty solid, winning the first set, only losing the second by 3 points. And now the Fleet with a 4-point lead here in the third set.
Right now the Rafters seem to be on the side of the Flying Fleet here in Hayes Gymnasium, causing a lot of trouble for that North Greenville team.
And Erskine's been able to play their last few shots that have come down for the ceiling very well. And in the trenches up at the net, it's still been the Fleet.
Yeah, Gray, the Rafters know no team.
Erskine being a conference opponent of North Greenville, got to feel they have a little bit more experience as well as the other conference teams that have to come here in Hayes, unlike a Lincoln Memorial, who in their match, they didn't look like they were prepared. But North Greenville in their last few conference games, a loss against Mount Olive, a loss at Limestone, a loss at King, before finally winning against Emmanuel, as here's a Crusader point.
Grayson Lawrence with the kill right there. Out of bounds, but it looked like it was a first touch by that Erskine front line.
Timeout call works, pulls a 1 point back for North Greenville, 10-7. Erskine still on top. Hamshow fires it in, trims the net. Recovered by Braceros. Here comes number 17, Hermida, who is stuffed. I think that was McManaway again. Hamshow's got the serve. Friddle will set up at the net looking for Williams, past a diving Hamshow. And Erskine continuing to manage at right around the 3-point lead.
Once again, that quick set from Friddle to Absalon. North Greenville needs to find some way to adjust to that.
Williams on the serve over to Baker. Bulldog looking to set up for McManaway, missing the far side corner, and the Fleet take the point. Serve in from Williams over to Baker. Bulldog gonna set up McManaway, and that time he's just stuffed by Sullivan.
Sullivan and Hermida right there with the block. McManaway looking around, nothing you can do with that.
Sullivan averaging a block per set, so no shocker there. And a service error off the hand of Williams will give North Greenville some relief, but still down 4. Bulldogs got the serve over to Braceros. Here's Friddle setting up for Sullivan. Switched his hand motion at the last second. Campbell will hit it over for North Greenville. Out of bounds. Fleet take the point.
The air is becoming more and more abundant the farther we go into this match. With that, number 3 for North Greenville will check in Luis Kane, another freshman.
Is that how you pronounce that? I wasn't sure. And Erskine gonna pick up a service ace. Boy, the Fleet are dominating this third set. North Greenville's starting to lose the element of communication down on the floor. They need to start calling some of these as King moves over for it. Bulldog going to set up Lawrence. Dug by number 15, Friddle. Kept alive by King. Bulldog for McManaway over the blockers and down.
Sullivan ready to send that right back down, but McManaway floats it right over his head. No Erskine defender can get to it. North Greenville point sends Grayson Lawrence back to serve.
Well, and they needed it. The senior leadership stepping up with Matthew McManaway. And now Erskine with some cleanup right at the net. That's right where the blockers would be on the middle shot. Waiting on the serve from Grayson Lawrence, sends it in. Over to Braceros. Friddle going to set up for Sullivan, off the blockers and down. And the Fleet with a 6-point advantage.
That might be the largest lead of this entire match. And that sends Hermida back to serve.
Already a couple of service aces. Baker prevents another one. McManaway slams it down on blocks for the North Greenville point. McManaway back to serve. Takes a sideways spin off the hands of Bracera, and here's Hermida missing the shot right down the middle.
He was in a great position, maybe just a little far back. Couldn't send it straight down. McManaway with that sends it into the net for another service error. McManaway's serving woes continue.
He's going to give it back to the Fleet with a 5-point lead at 17-12. Sullivan, his standing serve, floats it in. Lawrence, Bulldog, looking near post for Baker. And it will be a point North Greenville off the touch.
That Friddle getting down, but sending it right into the crowd. Not able to get it back up and into the court of play. Luis Kane back to serve.
Now North Greenville down 4, trying to claw their way back into it. Kane missing the end line.
Looks like he missed by just inches. That gives Erskine an 18-13 lead. Sends number 25, Griff Spence, back to serve.
Spence will fire it in over to Baker. Bulldog going to set up Hampshire down the middle, blocked by Williams. King setting up for Baker from the 10-foot line. Hermida, Friddle to Braceros. King again stops that one. Here's Lawrence to Kane, who gets it to go off Delgado.
Delgado able to hit it. But for some reason, number 16, Absalon Williams, just kept his hands in the air from that last Crusader hit. Not sure what he was thinking or what he was doing on that.
Here's Baker on the serve. He'll go over to Hermida, and Williams getting set down the middle. Kane with the dig. Here comes Lawrence, and he's blocked in bounds by Friddle and Williams, and an unfortunate point will get away from NGU. And the last Crusader timeout for the set will be taken. NGU down 5, 19-14. Erskine looking to go up 2 sets to 1 and try and walk out of here with a road win in 4 sets.
Yeah, a win here would be big for Erskine. Young team, only winning 2 games so far this season, 1 game in conference play. It would be a big confidence booster for those.
A great boost in confidence for the Flying Fleet as they look to continue their schedule toward March. North Greenville has another non-conference match coming up Saturday afternoon against Coker at 2 p.m. We will be here to carry that one live for you. Softball will also be in action, weather permitting, which I believe it is for that Saturday afternoon. And it looks like it will be so. The rain here in the Tigerville area will be moving out tomorrow, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday looking pretty good weather-wise.
Yeah, for couple days now, it got really nice and warm. Stayed a little bit cloudy, but now cold front moved in. Once again, cold and rainy.
Yeah, it's that South Carolina weather. Where it is scientifically proven we have had all 4 seasons within a week. Here comes Lawrence off the near post, big block, but it goes out of bounds off the hands of Friddle and Williams. That pairing can't get the point, and it will go to NGU. Here's McManaway back in. Dustin King will get a breather. Ben Hamshow back to serve. Fires it in. Caceres to Friddle, and now Hermida missing the corner. Point NGU.
Right, you honestly could have called that for either team. Ultimately going North Greenville's way. Hampshire back for a second straight serve.
That's back-to-back points coming out of the North Greenville timeout. Erskine looking to right the ship here. Campbell with the dig. Bulldog with the set. McManaway hits it over. Flying Fleet helped out here with Hermida, stuffed by McManaway.
Big block right there by McManaway. Great effort play right there by Bulldog. Sacrificing his body, almost going into that scorer's table.
No timeout there from Coach Brubaker for Erskine, and probably that reason why is he knew eventually North Greenville would cough it up on the service there, and that's exactly what happened. A Roman back in for the Fleet. He'll drift back to serve and place Harold Williams. 3-point advantage for Erskine, up 2017. No timeouts left for North Greenville, so they're going to have to play with what they got. Lawrence off the blockers, backspin off the hands of our Roman, and North Greenville does get the point.
Good play right there by the Crusaders, sending it back. The spin, sending it just out of reach. Flying Fleet defenders. Bulldog now back to serve.
North Greenville starting to find some gaps in the Erskine blocking up front. That's allowed them to fight their way back into it. Still down 2 though. Bulldog on the serve and out of bounds.
Not something you usually see from Bulldog. Looked like it rolled just off the right side of his hand. Flying Fleet now up 21-18. Number 15, Matt Friddle back to serve.
Friddle fires, Baker gets it, and the ace for Friddle as almost like it caught Baker off guard. And Erskine up 4.
Man away, and I believe Baker, thinking about running into the crowd, may have hurt somebody if they did.
Look out.
Choosing to let it go.
Here's Friddle on a second straight serve, right to Baker again. This time he gets it up to Bulldog, and now Lawrence shorting into the net. Point Erskine up 23-18, and all Coach Battenfield can do is just watch the Fleet score go up.
Lawrence trying to serve, looked like a little fadeaway serve as he was falling backwards.
Friddle hanging on to that Flying Fleet serve to Baker. Bulldog, McManaway blocked, backed up by Bulldog. King called upon to set for Campbell. Reached up for by Friddle. Delgado to Hermida, short into the net. Well, that keeps North Greenville somewhat in it and alive.
Lawrence now back to serve.
Lawrence fires out of bounds. Spence backpedaling to get out of the way, and set point for Erskine, 24-19.
Almost getting an unconventional ace by just sending it straight into the other player.
Yeah, that would have been something. So here's Hermida back to serve with set point and missing the end line to keep North Greenville in it. Still set point, 24-20.
But with that, McManaway back to serve. We'll see if he can keep the Crusaders into it.
Fires it in and out. That will give the third set to Erskine, 25-20. The Flying Fleet will take the set advantage, 2 sets to 1. So North Greenville is going to have to rally back. 2 straight. They want to walk out of here with a home win. 5-2 we mentioned on this court floor. And that record in trouble right now. Erskine looks primed to pick up their 3rd win of the season. Set break here for us with Erskine up 2 sets to 1 over North Greenville. Back for set number 4 in a moment on the North Greenville Sports Network. Back for set number 4 here on the North Greenville Sports Network. Erskine with the set advantage 2-1. They can win it here in 4. North Greenville's got to win this one and set 5 in the race to 15.
Coach Battenfield starting this set going with one of his younger lineups. 2 freshmen, 3 sophomores. Only one senior, the lone Mick Manaway, in the front court.
Gonna be Baker, Kane. Here comes Dustin King out. Jackson Gilbert's out there, and number 6, Jake Bulldog, back to serve. Bulldog fires to open up set 4, and here comes Erskine. Big time block by McManaway and Kane, and North Greenville takes a point.
North Greenville starting off strong, not letting it get over the net.
Bulldog fires again, and the ace.
Nice little floater right there. Delgado just watched it land at the floor.
Serve in again. Erskine handles this one. The setter tip stopped by King. Here's McManaway off the set, and North Greenville on a 3-0 run to open things here in the 4th.
Crusaders off on a hot start. McManaway himself on a very hot start with a block and a kill.
And the set going to Sullivan. Sullivan again changing things up at the last second. And once again, he is rewarded for it with a point.
Coach Battenfield looked like he might be trying to argue a double hit there, not going his way. Friddle back to serve now.
Serve in from the Fleet. That's number 15, Friddle. Here is Bulldog setting up for Baker. Down on the line and in.
Finally got stats up and running again, able to throw some stats at you. The attack percentage now for Erskine sitting at a .014 and a .160 from North Greenville.
No touch called there on the shot from Griffin Spence. A couple of North Greenville players having to bob and weave to get out of the way of it. North Greenville here with up 5-1. Baker on the serve over to Delgado, set by Friddle, going to the far post, and Gilbert blocking it right back into the face of Hermida, and Erskine forced to burn a timeout way early in set 4.
Gray, you weren't lying. Quite literally, Gilbert sent it right back into the face of the Erskine defender. If we take a look at some of the stats here, teams tied in digs, 24 apiece. Erskine averaging 10 blocks a set, North Greenville at 11. North Greenville has 17 service errors during this match compared to Erskine's 8.
Yeah, those service errors is where it hurts the most. 17 of them for North Greenville. They have almost given up a full set and free points to Erskine again this season.
Most of the service errors coming off the older players, such as McManaway. It makes you think, is it a mental block that they have, or have they just tried to switch something up and it's not working so far?
And Erskine with a negative attack percentage yet again, and they are leading this match 2-1. Serve in from Baker. Trying to go short. Delgado picks it up. Friddle going to set up far post for Hermida. King with the dig, and it comes back down to earth very quickly.
King with the great effort right there. Hermida hitting it as hard as he does.
Somebody get the license plate number on that ball.
I believe that's the 7th kill for Hermida, tying in with number 22, Keegan Sullivan for Erskine. On the North Greenville side, Matthew McManaway leads in 8 kills, followed by Aaron Campbell, Ben Hampshire with 5, and Jackson Gilbert with 4, along with Grayson Lawrence.
Hermida gets the serve, trims the net, makes it over. Bulldog going to set up for a Kane near post. Stopped by the Fleet. Now here comes number 3, Laceros, who's stuffed by McManaway. And North Greenville roaring out to a 7-2 lead.
Once again, taking time to wipe the floor. A couple more stats to throw at you real quick. North Greenville has 30 assists this game compared to Erskine's 24. As McManaway sends it in.
Serve over to Delgado, set by Friddle, and a block there by Kane and Hamshow. Fleet still have it though, with Laceros getting it over. Bulldog gonna try for Gilbert, gets it past the blockers. They don't have any backup, and North Greenville goes up 8-2.
Right there, Gilbert with a nice little floater to send it over the Erskine defenders.
Man away the serve again, and it hits the post. Out of bounds, and that will unfortunately go down as a service error.
It'll be the 18th service error for the Crusaders. McManaway's 4th of the night.
Back set from Bulldog to Baker, who came running in to hit it up. Here's Braceros, stopped by Baker. Bulldog looking to set. And the early whistle, a double hit called against North Greenville, point to the Flying Fleet.
Right there, Braceros. Small 6-foot frame, able to hit it with a lot of power over the net.
Running set by Bulldog to Gilbert from the 10-foot line. Baker with the kick save, but it goes into the stands. And Erskine pulls another point back.
Nice kick save. But when you do those, there's no telling where the ball's going to go.
That wasn't quite as good as Courtney Williamson's foot save back during the women's volleyball season, but still A for effort. Hit over in backcourt from Hermida. Here come Hamshow down the middle, off the right hand of Friddle. And North Greenville will pull a point ahead once more.
Friddle almost sending it into one of the side basketball nets. That would have been a great play.
Here's Kane on the jump serve to Delgado. Friddle going to set up for Williams. Smacks it down and gets the touch. Erskine with the point.
Freshman Kane with a good effort there. Couldn't get under it quite enough to send it up. Spence back to serve for the Flying Fleet.
Spence fires over to Baker. There's Bulldog tracking it down, set for Gilbert. Smacks it high and out. No touch called. Point to Erskine.
Erskine slowly creeping back into the set. Only down by 2 now.
Coach Battenfield telling Gilbert, settle down, don't rush your shot there. As here's Bulldog setting up for Hamshow, past the blockers but recovered by Spence. Now here comes Braceros, diving save by King. Bulldog looking to Baker, past the blockers, that's stopped by Hermida. Friddle gonna set up for Braceros, and he is stuffed by Bulldog.
The 6-foot Bulldog showing a lot of leaping ability with the solo block down to the floor. That extends the North Greenville lead to 3 now, 10-7.
Gilbert with a high serve, short into the net. I'll give it back to Erskine, down 2. What's at stake here for this set is this is the 4th set. Erskine wins it, it's over. This is must-win territory for North Greenville. And here's Bulldog with the first setter tip of the night for North Greenville and the first kill for him.
Something I'm noticing with Bulldog, every time he does come down, it looks like he's limping just a bit. Hopefully able to hold up for the rest of this game.
And Erskine gonna slow the pace down here some. Hampshire ready to serve on the whistle. And here we go. And he shorts it into the net.
As we've seen all season, the bigs for the North Greenville side having a lot of trouble getting it over the net on these serves.
Now the serve from Williams will get over to Gilbert. Here's Bulldog going to set it back up for Baker. And off the hands of Spence for the North Greenville point.
That'll send the sophomore Bulldog back to serve.
He'll fire it over. It's going to go to the net. Kane took a crack at it. Now who did it go off last? Official saying last touch by NGU, and Coach Battenfield out with an argument. And we're going to have a discussion about this. Here comes the scorers table official over to the perched one.
Coach Battenfield not happy with that. He's arguing that with the way the ball was moving, it had to have last touch been by Erskine. Ref's talking it over right now.
Who did it go off of last? Oh, and this is now it's, nope, still going on. A lengthy debate here between the two officials. And it will be reversed, North Greenville point. And now things having to be explained to Coach Brubaker for Erskine. And now we are ready to resume play. Bulldog back to serve, and North Greenville up by 4. And the setter tip unsuccessful from Friddle. Here comes Gilbert rearing back, dug by Delgado through the rafters. Here comes number 17, Hermida, stuffed by Kane and McManaway. And that's a pairing that is really starting to gain a lot of steam here in the fourth set.
Kane, one of the freshmen that doesn't get particularly too much playing time, at least that we've seen here in Hayes. Able to come up in a big way in this game tonight.
All the way from Miami, Florida. As here's Bulldog once again to serve. Trying to go down the middle, Erskine is to Sullivan, dug by King. Bulldog looking to set it for Baker. He's blocked out of bounds. North Greenville point.
Bulldog back with his fifth serve in a row.
Who took some off that one, as here is Hermida firing and missing.
Hitting it hard, but not in bounds.
And that one was smoked, and Erskine calls timeout. That will be it for them.
Crusaders now lead 16-9 in the fourth set.
Now the Fleet out of timeouts for the set, so a 7-point deficit to make up, and North Greenville definitely in better position, closer to that 25-point mark. So from here on, Coach Brubaker is just going to have to let things go and hope for the best.
Erskine sitting at a negative .034 attack percentage. It's what you'd think you'd see with an attack percentage like that, but all game Erskine has been able to fight back, capitalize on the mistakes from the Crusaders.
Yeah, I'd expect this roles to be reversed in this one. North Greenville, their attack percentage isn't that great either at 179, but I would expect North Greenville to have the set advantage, be up 2-1, but Erskine won the first set with a negative attack percentage. They barely had a positive one.
North Greenville may have came into this game thinking, oh, Erskine 2-10.
You don't want to overlook your opponent. The serve in from North Greenville, up big late here in the fourth set. Fired on King by Hermida, and another roaster from Hermida gets the North Greenville defense off guard.
Once again, like we talked about earlier, would we rather have it come off that angular ceiling or the rafters? And that just proves my point of coming off the rafters. Still not easy to play, but a lot easier than off that angled roof.
Serve in by Friddle to King. Here's Bulldog on the set, looking back Baker's way. It's over to Delgado. Friddle going to try setting up to the far post for Spence. Stopped by Bulldog and down to the floor in front of King. Off the roof again.
McManaway looked like he was set up under that. Played off the roof. Bounced just a little bit behind him. Couldn't get to it.
Erskine within 5. And short into the net.
It's only Erskine's, I believe, 9th service error of the game.
And you're right, yes, North Greenville with 20 of them. Here's Baker over to Delgado. Friddle setting up down the middle. Sullivan firing very much off speed. Here comes Gilbert past the blockers, and he gets the touch off Braceros.
McManaway with a block there on the little tip. Then able to get up under it and send it up.
Baker on the serve to Delgado, running set from Friddle over to the far post. Hermida will get the touch off of King, and Erskine will pull one back, 18-12.
Bulldog tried to play it off the basketball goal here in Hayes Gym.
Yeah.
Whistled a dead ball though.
Wrong sport. 18-12, North Greenville still leading. Hermida on the serve. Gilbert, Bulldog looking to set it for McManaway off the block and the point. And that will make it 19-12.
McManaway trying to show off some of the power of his own as Arlen Rochebaugh subs into the game. Rochebaugh now back to serve for McManaway.
Rojba on the serve, over to the far side, running set by Friddle, back to Spence, fires it off the hands of Baker, diving save by Gilbert, right back to Baker, and off the net, Hamshow gets it over. Here comes Erskine back with it, inbounds from number 3, Braceros. And they'll take the point.
With that point, McManaway checks back in, checks right back out for Dustin King, and Jarvis Benito, number 4, checks in for number 13, Ben Hamshow. Sullivan back to serve for the Flying Fleet.
Serve in, over to Gilbert. Bulldog gonna set up for Benito, who comes in firing. Jarvis Benito gives North Greenville 20, and the Crusaders up by 7. Serve in by Kane, over to the near side. Set Friddle, gonna go to Williams, and right down Main Street for the Flying Fleet point.
Absalom, who's been sort of quiet since the second set, able to get the point right there and bring the Flying Fleet within 6.
Spence has the serve. He'll go over to Gilbert. Bulldog gonna set it up. Back to Gilbert off the blockers. Right to Hermida. Early whistle. And it is a point North Greenville. Blocking error called against the Fleet.
I believe that was once again on number 16, Absalom Williams.
North Greenville in the driver's seat. Gilbert fires on the serve. What a stop by Delgado. Benito hits it back over to Williams. Delgado gonna set things up for Braceros, and the block by Benito will give North Greenville 22.
Freshman Benito with a big block. Jackson Gilbert now checking out for number 7 senior Silas Jenkins. As the Crusaders are up 22-14.
And chances looking very good that we are going to the 5th and final set here at Hayes Gymnasium. And an early whistle, point to Erskine.
Like a blocking error, not sure who it was on. Possibly Benito. Jenkins stays into the game. As Braceros back to serve for Erskine.
Fires it in over to Baker. Bulldog running set back to Baker. Fires it off the block and down North Greenville point.
Spence with the dive. Not able to get a hand up under it. Crusader point, that sends Jarvis Benito back to serve.
And your red court, there was blocking error called, and an indication being against Jarvis Benito, who serves it in and out of bounds.
21st serving error now for the Crusaders.
Now Benito takes a seat. Erskine's got a lot of ground to make up. And the Fleet send it in. Jenkins recovers. McManaway setting up for Baker off the blockers. Braceros, Friddle, here comes Hermida. And it is out of bounds off the near post. Set point, North Greenville, 24-16.
Absalom Williams checking back into the game for number 21, Gary Araman.
A lot of set points to work with here for North Greenville. Bulldog fires it in, trying to go for the block. Erskine will hang on to it with Hermida, cutting it down to 7.
King trying to get his foot out there to kick it back up. Just a little out of his reach, though. That'll send Matt Friddle, the setter, back to serve for Erskine.
Still set point. Friddle serves over to Jenkins. Bulldog going to set up for McManaway with the right hand, hits it over. Here's Friddle back on the set. Sullivan trying to go for the tip. McManaway juggles it off the net and doesn't have any backup. Erskine pulls 2 back.
It's a hard play to make when block it back into the net. You try to hit it up. Can't get out of the way in time for your other teammates to get up under there.
And that net bends out. And it just kind of rolled right back to Matt, who didn't have anywhere to go. Serve in by Friddle to King. Bulldog going to set things up down the middle. Baker off the block. And Brandon Baker will send it to the 5th set for North Greenville. Crusaders take this one 25-18.
That'll bring up the 5th and final set. It'll be the fight to 15 when we come back.
Set 5 here on the North Greenville Sports Network. The 4th time all season North Greenville has gone to a deciding 5th set. They have won 2 of them, both of those wins coming here at home against Alderson Broadus University and Queens University. The only set 5 they have lost was their last match against Belmont Abbey on the road.
Right here, it looks like we got the lineups almost set. We'll get going with the fight to 15. Erskine will lead it off. Number 15, Matt Friddle, will open it up with the serve.
First team to 8 points will switch ends of the court and get right back into play as Friddle fires. To the net it goes. Sullivan rears and gets North Greenville down a point.
Greenville not ready for that serve, back on their heels early.
And Keegan Sullivan proving to be the catalyst for the Flying Fleet, as here comes Friddle again to Gilbert. Bulldog looking to set up for Kane from the far post. He fires, but Baraceros got underneath it, and then it's hit out of bounds by Hermida, and North Greenville's on the board.
Freshman Brandon Baker will be back to serve first for the Crusaders.
Baker fires over to Delgado, set by Friddle, will go over to the near post, blocked by McManaway, and across the net and out of play. Back to the point will go to Erskine.
King running from his side of the court all the way to the other to try to get that. Not quite sure if that's legal. Great effort nonetheless.
Here comes Hermida on the serve, over to King. Bulldog looking to set up from the 10-foot line, will go to Gilbert, blocked. McManaway hangs onto it, Bulldog off his hands and out of bounds, point Erskine. Serve in by Hermida, trims the net but gets over. Bulldog looking to set back to McManaway, and he gets the touch. Point NGU.
McManaway, good play right there. Able to get the touch off the Erskine defender.
And now he'll push this one beyond the end line. Erskine back up by 2.
Once again, McManaway's serving woes continue.
Served by Sullivan off of Baker. Lucky not get called for a double hit there. King gets it over. Hermida, Friddle, over to near post, Baceros. King with the dig, off the light. Bulldog plays it over to Gilbert. Left hands it, blocked. King hangs on. Bulldog looking for Kane. He'll try to go off speed, and the whistle will stop it and give the point to North Greenville.
Not sure if that was a blocking or an attacking error, but an error nonetheless, giving North Greenville their 3rd point of the set. Only down by 1 now. Luis Kane now serving.
Over to Delgado. Here comes the set by Friddle. Williams stuffed, but it goes over the North Greenville side. Will drop right in front of Hamshow.
Hamshow and Gilbert with a great block. Let's send it straight down into the net. Can't do anything with that.
That 3rd point for North Greenville will go down as a blocking error against Absalon Williams. As here's Bulldog setting up for Hamshow, and a block out of bounds. Good awareness by Gilbert to let that one go. North Greenville still down a point, 5-4.
It can be one of the hardest parts of the sport, is not letting your instincts take over on a play like that and just letting it go.
Gilbert's got the serve, fires, and gets the touch for the ace.
Daniel Hermida sort of making a last-minute decision to try to go for that. Just sends it off his right forearm to the back of the court. That ties it up 5-5, Gilbert to serve.
Let's see if he can do it again. Fires. Delgado gets underneath it. Friddle will set up. Here comes Hermida, and he's in on the line.
Hermida getting this point right back, giving Erskine once again a 1-point lead, 6-5.
Baceros, the man back to serve, over to King. Bulldog looking to set for Hamshow, and he's rejected by Williams. And Hermida, 2-point advantage for Erskine.
Erskine definitely not playing like a 2-win team right now, playing like a very seasoned veteran team with 8 freshmen on the court. Or excuse me, on the team.
Sarah's had the serve. Here comes Baker. Past the blockers. Tugged by Delgado with a nice spin move. Hamshow puts it back one-handed. And North Greenville hanging on, down 7-6.
Hamshow now back to serve, hoping to get these next 2 points for the Crusaders to switch sides, excuse me.
Hamshow fires. Reached up 4 over to the near post. Hermida out of bounds, no touch, tied at 7.
Hamshow with a little luck on his side right there. Looked like it might have been out of bounds, but Erskine playing it anyway.
Baceros, the man, reaching up for it. And now to determine who gets the 8th point. Hamshow serves, and Erskine will jump out in front. 8-7, switch ends. North Greenville over to the right, Erskine to the left.
We'll see if North Greenville can build some sort of comeback, momentum, something to get them back into this game right here.
The Roman will come on to serve here, just past halfway of the 5th set. Roman serves over to Gilbert. Bulldog looks set up McManaway, pushed it out, no touch called, Erskine point.
McManaway needing to get that just a little bit lower. Maybe could have caught that in line. Coach Backfield calling a timeout.
That'll be the first of for North Greenville here in the 5th set. Erskine still left with their full allotment of 2.
With that, we're going to go over a couple stats here for you so far. Erskine raising their attack percentage from negative to .055. North Greenville sitting at a .205.
Yeah, believe it or not, I think that is the largest Erskine's attack percentage has been this whole match.
One of the rare times it's actually been not
positive.
Negative.
And here we are in the 5th set.
Regardless, the negative attack percentage, them able to have the lead right now, have it tied up 2 sets to 2. Hoping to come up with a big victory here on the road against North Greenville to win their 2nd conference game of the year, 3rd game overall.
You've got to give Erskine credit for the way they've played tonight. They've been playing lights out, and North Greenville just hasn't been able to capitalize on the Erskine mistakes when the Flying Fleet have made them, and North Greenville's made plenty of their own looking at those 23 service errors.
Yeah, and really that record that Erskine has not indicative of who they have on this team. Hermida and Sullivan and a couple other key players who have really given them the lead.
And Braceros and Hermida both freshmen, so a couple of years down the road, this Flying Fleet team is going to be absolutely terrifying.
Time about to be called so we can get this 2nd half of this set underway.
A Roman on to serve, over to Gilbert. Bulldog looking to set up back near post. Baker gets it down on the line. You know what, much needed point there for NGU.
Baker sending it right in between O'Rahman and number 3, Kevin Braceros. Neither one able to get to it. Erskine making a substitution here. Absalom Williams coming back into the game, along with, on the North Greenville side, number 12, Aaron Campbell.
And Campbell just coming right back in. Here's Sullivan, blocked by McManaway, bailed out by his setter, Friddle. Here's Bulldog looking back to Baker, popped up. Here's McManaway dropping the hammer.
A big momentum shift right now, ties it up 9-9. The big shot right there from McManaway.
Go ahead and give him another one. Erskine trying to do the setter tip. North Greenville ready for it. Baker fires over to Delgado. Friddle sets up down the middle for Braceros and into the corner pocket, and Erskine takes the lead back.
The smaller 6-foot Braceros able to put it right where he needed to in the back corner, just out of the reach of Jackson Gilbert. With that, that'll send Matt Friddle, the setter, back to serve. As the Flying Fleet lead, 10-9, only 5 away from winning this game. Listen to the crowd, very pumped up.
They're trying to make sure that floor is clean. Here is Friddle on the serve to Gilbert. Bulldog going to set up for McManaway, dug by Delgado. Friddle moving over to set for number 17, Hermida, who misses the end line, point NGU.
Almost touching the blocker McManaway on that last play. Just missing him. That ties the score 10-10. Brandon Baker back to serve.
Baker fires it in over to Delgado, set by Friddle down the middle to Sullivan, and Bulldog juggles it just enough for the Fleet to take the lead 11-10.
Not sure what happened there with Bulldog. Looked like he was in decent position. Looks like he just mishit it. Instead of hitting it, let it sort of roll off his hands.
Serve in by Hermida, high and out. And the service error will tie it up at 11. North Greenville with the serve. Chance to take the lead here late in the set.
Only the 10th serving error for Erskine now, as Arlen Rochebaugh checks into the game to serve.
See what Rochebaugh has. Over to Hermida. Friddle going to set up near post for Spence. Off the block and in play. Point to Erskine.
Gilbert and Hamshow jump up the block. It takes just enough off the ball for it to just to fall at the feet of any other North Greenville defender. Manaway right there does check back in the game for Rochebaugh.
Here comes NGU near post with Gilbert, who fires it cross court. And we're tied at 12.
The crowd definitely getting into it now, trying to build some momentum for the Crusaders. As the lefty Campbell will serve now, tied 12-12.
Got to win the set by 2, so somebody's got to get a 2-point lead as Campbell serves it in. Friddle going to set up for Williams off the block. Campbell right there for it. Bulldogs setting back up for Gilbert off the block. North Greenville hangs on to it. Got to get it over. And it's called dead off the roof. Erskine point.
Not sure why it was called dead. It looked like the ref signaling that it did hit the rafters on the Erskine side, resulting in the dead ball call.
And the last North Greenville timeout called. Yeah, there's a pipe right about in the center of the court floor that's just offset, it looks like, to the Erskine side, and I think that's what the officials were looking at. Nick called maybe the side, maybe scraping the paint off of the side of it, and that's what called it dead. Erskine with a very important swing point coming up.
Your officials tonight, Joy Stauffer, Tony Fontanelle, calling the game tonight.
So a point here for Erskine gives them match point at 14-12. North Greenville takes it. We're tied at 13, and we're going to have to either win 3 straight or going to need some extra points to determine the overall match winner. Again, North Greenville will have a few days off until Saturday. They will play next right here at home against Coker College. The Cobras coming up from Hartsville, South Carolina for a non-conference matchup. I believe Coker's part of the South Atlantic and in other sports.
Play resuming here. Spence serving in for the Flying Fleet.
And he will send it out for the service there, and we're tied at 13.
That Gilbert will be back to serve for the Crusaders, hoping to get these last 2 points.
Here comes Gilbert, sends it in over to Delgado, catches a piece of the roof, and that's going to be match point for North Greenville, 14-13. Off the ace from Gilbert. Well,
Crusader fans here on their feet now. It's Gilbert looking to shut out.
One match point. Gilbert fires off the roof, and they won't get to it. Into the bleachers it goes, and the match ends with back-to-back aces from Jackson Gilbert.
4 Erskine defenders diving into the foot of the bleachers. Luckily, no one got hurt on that play. Regardless, North Greenville does take this final set 15-13, and the overall match 3-2.
North Greenville will pick up win number 8 on the season, 4th conference win. That'll improve them to 4-5. Erskine, in the meantime, will drop to 2-11, 1-7 in conference play. And the Flying Fleet, definitely better things to come down the road for this squad out of Due West. So for North Greenville there, they will finish the game with a .210 attack percentage, 15 blocks. Those 23 service errors still hurt, but the win helps a little bit in that department. 46 assists, 42 of them coming from Jake Bulldog, 52 kills on 124 attacks for North Greenville while they commit 26 errors. Matthew McManaway leads the way, 12 kills on 23 attacks. 1 solo block, 7 assisted blocks, and 2 digs for the senior. Jackson Gilbert cashes in 8 kills and ends the match with back-to-back service aces. Grayson Lawrence chips in 4. How about Campbell with 6 kills? Ben Hamshow with 8. And Brandon Baker with a fantastic performance for the Crusaders. He'll finish the night with 8 kills. Sullivan finishes with 13 for Erskine. Hermida with 10. Epsilon Williams with 8. And Braceros with 6 kills for the Flying Fleet. Now time to announce your Mose of Greer Player of the Game. Help to determine which Crusader had the most impactful performance to help their team win tonight. And it goes to...
I'm going to give it to Matthew McManaway this game. He led the way for the Crusaders with 12 kills overall.
I want to say that's his 3rd straight awards in the home volleyball matches that we've covered. So really an all-team effort for North Greenville, but somebody's got to try and unseat the man atop the mountain right now. So Matthew McManaway, your Mose of Greer Player of the Game, here for tonight's match against the Flying Fleet of Erskine College. Coach Bentonfield will go back to the drawing board. They'll have Coker here at Hayes Saturday afternoon, 2 p.m. First serve for that non-conference matchup. Softball will be also going on that day over at Jan McDonald Field. Doubleheader against Claflin. That starts at 1, and second game around 3 o'clock. So the Crusaders win it here in 5 sets, 3-2 over the Flying Fleet of Erskine. And we'll go ahead and wrap this one up on a Crusader victory. Hope to see you Saturday. If you can't make it out here to the gym, join us here on the North Greenville Sports Network on YouTube.com. So for myself, Gray Sullivan, for Corey Bowen, and Alan Ellis, and Alan Cahaley, this has been a North Greenville Sports Network.